Okay, you guys, welcome back to the channel. So recently at Augusta, there was lots of chatter amongst the players that multiple competitors would carry two drivers. A bomber driver, which we know is advantageous at Augusta, take out some of those bunkers, get short clubs in your hands in the par fives. That is obviously massively beneficial. But you also need to be in the right spots to access the pins at Augusta. Yes. As we saw from DJ, it wasn't just about bombing it like Bryson. You have to bomb it with precision. I mean, I think he hit 78% of fairways on the week. So what we wanted to dive into today is, can we build the ultimate driving package with two drivers? Have an option that you have a fade driver, have an option that you have a draw driver. Both are optimized for you to allow you to play basically any hole, shaping it into that hole to take advantage of being that much further down there.
And in the correct spot.
Yep.
So the reason this took an interest for me, I think from even a personal standpoint, and what made it realistic, when Phil used to talk about carrying two drivers back in the day, I don't think people related to it, but now there are days where I play my own course and I won't use a certain club. My 3-wood is basically, it's that one. It's not the 3-wood's fault, but I don't use the 3-wood at my course because it's just not necessary. I could think of tons of holes where a really accurate, slightly fade biased driver would be fantastic. Gets me out there, 290, 300, still an advantage. Then there's holes where if I can hit one 350 or 360 with a crazy autoflex thing, I can chip onto par fours. So I started to think, well, hold on, this isn't like a joke. This is legitimately something you could do. And if I can do it, if I could find room in my bag, I actually think a ton of people could.
No, it's fascinating. So in your driver right now, Matty, yours is super neutral. It flies as straight as you can draw a line effectively.
It's been very neutral, absolutely.
Very, very neutral. But we're kind of giving you the opposite of that now. So we're trying to feed it into a left bias hole and a right bias hole.
Absolutely.
Always playing with shape. We know what playing with shape does. It widens the fairway for players.
Yes.
The neutral driver is great if you're a very highly skilled player, you practice a lot, you have a high degree of club face control, but if you can shape the ball into the hole, if you have a 40-yard wide fairway and you can start it on the edge of that fairway, knowing that your ball is going to curve into it, you effectively double your landing area.
So the other thing I was thinking is the Gary Woodland story you told me. So when you fit him, what year was that, 2016? 2017, you got him into something where he was able to turn the ball over really slightly. He was hitting fades a bit higher than you needed to, and you got him a little bit of a draw, and he picked up obviously tons of distance, and it was still accurate, but he didn't want to hit that shape. And that's fair enough, because he's probably thinking, well, I want to hit my driver left to right on these holes, that's what I play. And he said, if I want to hit a draw, I'll hit 3-wood, which I think makes sense. In a way, he's carrying two drivers there as well. The only difference is I think that 3-wood for the draw, it's not a distance advantage anymore.
How many times people, when I ask someone in a fit, how many times do you hit 3-wood? They may say to me like 2 would be the most.
That's a good number, yeah. 2.
Well, wouldn't we be better giving you something in the bag then that you're going to hit 6 times? So you may hit 6 right, right to left, you may hit 6 left to right.
Yes.
Put you in position to really take advantage on certain holes, get shorter clubs in your hands. We know the value that provides when you get an 8-iron rather than a 5-iron. We start to really capitalize on this from a scoring standpoint. We're talking about all these different ways to build the bag, multiple brands within the bag that offer different ball flights and characteristics. This is no different. 19 US Open at Pebble. Gary Woodland's win. On 18, Brooks Koepka, he hits that kind of flat fade. 18 didn't set up well for him. He needed to make 3. If he could have turned one over and had 210 in his hand, hitting in 6-iron, he could really start attacking the pin. The reality was he had to hit fairway wood, lay it back to 240 odd, and then he had to hit in his 2-iron, it hit the green and jumped through the back into the rough. Game over.
What are you supposed to do?
Nothing.
And try to chip in at that point. Yeah, you're right. He's not going to aim over the cliffs and in the ocean and hope it fades back, because that's not smart playing.
And he's also not going to aim at the tree and try and turn one when he hasn't done that all day.
No, you would never.
It's not his swing.
You're right. So if he had had a different tool in the toolbox, who knows what would have happened. Okay,
let's hit a few.
Nice. So now we're basically, as an initial shot, that's kind of the flavor we're looking for. Kind of a center strike Pretty good swing for me. Felt like there was no way that ball was going right. That's a nice feeling one.
And if you can bottle that one, wow.
Ooh.
That is a
That's the
really good example because
Yeah.
on the start line, you don't want to give away too much in the start line. You want to start it just inside the fairway, but you know that if you don't necessarily get it fading, that's about the worst you're looking at. Like, look how flat that is.
It's amazing how it's
Yeah.
not spinning.
We normally see that one
Yeah.
lose some decent distance.
It's definitely very easy to curve. Mission accomplished. I can curve it sideways.
So if we look at the two drivers, we took a 10.5, turned it to 8.5. I've took a 9, left it at 9, but went upright.
Right, to help with the face.
Trying to just tilt the loft up a little bit.
It's a draw that curved 80 yards.
Massive, massive.
So
massive.
mission is definitely accomplished on that.
Okay, let's dial it back
Yeah.
a little bit, and the weight is the key. That's getting close to the right amount.
It's closer. Yep. I think if I can move the strike a bit away from the toe, that's
Oh,
that's
boy.
the one. So strike was an issue. I got a little closer to it so I could get the middle of the face, and that's
Okay.
320 in the air is a different conversation.
Okay, so 2 holes at our old pal Pebble Beach. We love so many tee shots at Pebble Beach. So 14, there's nothing I can do on this hole. I cannot move a golf ball in the right fashion to do anything.
It's a lot of shape, isn't it?
Yeah. You, on the other hand, have enough length to hit it past the last bunker at 291.
Right.
And very few people ever take advantage of this one. It's a really tough par 5.
Well, we saw what Gary Woodland hit in. He's
Yeah.
one of the longest players. He ripped 3-wood in the
3-wood,
U.S.
that's
Open.
right, that's right.
And
'cause-
I'm pretty confident, based on what you just gave me, that I can probably find a way to hit 4 or 5 iron in.
Okay, so we're looking for a high bomb 320. The
Yeah.
last one you hit in the range.
Yeah, that exact
That's the
same
one. Oh boy, get over there.
It's a good first
Gives a
attempt.
bounce. That's a hell of a first attempt.
Okay.
Okay, it's quite a lot. 14 yards
It's uphill.
uphill.
Yep. Closer.
Clove up my up. It's good. Really well hit. There she blows.
Do it! Oh. Land in the rough, but I'll take it. Woo! Look how close that tree it is.
That is a unbelievable drive. So there you're left with 221 into this hole. That's a serious green light. That's nice. It's going to get the fairway this time, so you'll
Yeah.
get a bounce.
So that first one was the ideal situation, but that to me, that's the most like, it's aggressive, but not too
Yeah.
aggressive.
That's taking advantage of your driver.
Yeah, it really is. Come on.
Carry a little.
Hard bounce this time. Yes. I'd say that's about as good as I could do. Yeah, great result. Wasn't even the lowest spin, but that leaves me 230.
230.
It's a massive advantage, there's no
ball
doubt.
that carries 300 that far uphill. Okay,
Okay.
so 18 Pebble Beach. It shapes, a good bit right to left.
Mm-hmm.
If you're hitting that last flight long and left to right, you're going to have a hard time in this hole.
You have two options the way I see it. One, I'm going to aim in the middle of, I'm going to aim halfway to the green,
Yeah.
and I'm going to really hope it comes back. Or
Yeah.
I'm going to accept that it will be in the right rough,
Yeah.
basically.
Exactly. Okay, let's
see
hit
what
a couple with your draw bias driver and then show why we might consider a fade bias driver.
So it took off good, but I couldn't keep it from doing interesting.
The driver you hit, that was the driver you hit in 14.
And it's such a perfect shape for 14, but I see faster too.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. It doesn't suit the hole, and in order to make it suit the hole, you have to either aim crazy or manipulate it.
You're going to have to start playing with it, and that's when you play Russian roulette with a hole like this, that you slightly miss one.
No.
You heel it ever so slightly, and it won't come back, and
goodbye.
Yeah.
Or God help you toe it, it's out of bounds.
That's probably the bigger issue for you.
Yeah, you're reteeing in both situations, aren't you?
Nice big house.
So the driver that is correctly set up for this is back to the one we hit first.
Yes.
So what we want to do almost is, like, to go back to the Brooks example, I think was really interesting. He hit 3-wood.
Yep.
He then had to hit 2 driving iron from about 240.
He hit his Nike driving iron.
Yeah. If we're able to hit driver with the right shape instead of 3-wood, we should have more like 200 in, and then you'd hit 6 or 5 iron in.
Yeah. I mean, in that time, he would probably have hit 7 iron there from 200 yards.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's basically just straight, which is...
That's you know, I gotta call it super conservative, but you've not taken any risk there.
None. It never went over the water really for very long. You know what else I like about it is I made a very controlled swing in terms of club head speed, and you've set it up to get a ton of launch and carry anyway. It hasn't gone short. Get 188.
188.
It doesn't get much better than that, does it?
Nope.
There it is.
It's nice.
That's got a bit of slide to it. Yeah, it's very easy to hit that shape. It's not even a very big fade. It's just curved a few yards in the spin. I can't believe how low that spin is. It's like a perfect launch and spin number, even though you're hitting a cut.
It's really, the cutter or the slider, it's not really that comfortable a shape for you, even if you
it's very uncomfortable.
Seldom hit that.
No, and I like the fact that even though I have not worked on hitting a fade and I need to, I can still produce a nice fade like that with this driver.
And there you go, same again. You've kind of dropped yourself in the exact same spot, 188, 189.
So Brooks could hit a hard 8 iron or something in, and he might have made eagle.
There's going to be some courses, Matty, where this won't make a lot of sense to certain players.
Potentially.
There's probably some holes where, you know, if you're a competitive golfer, you play your club championships, you might be able to turn a long, difficult par 4 into a mid-length par 4.
Easily. I can think of 3 at my club alone.
Interesting.
The first tee shot at my club, it's a driver most of the time.
Yeah.
But I don't really, I know it seems stupid, but I don't really want to have to shape it beyond the center line. So you need to curve it 30 yards right with my speed in order to be in the middle of the fairway around 100 yards in.
Turn one.
You need to turn one. If you don't turn it enough, you run way out of fairway, you're in the trees. If you turn it too much, you're in junk. Maybe not exactly this setup, but a draw bias driver in the bag would be perfect for me there. And then the third hole is about 440, but you must fade it. It is, imagine this instead of water, it's all trees.
Yeah.
So you must start it right and cut it back. I have a tough time doing that with my own driver setup. Inside the first 3 holes, I would hit 2 different drivers.
And I've always said to people that 3-woods have come so far that really, you know, 3-wood is a good option. But again, if you hit 3-wood in this scenario, if you hit 3-wood on 14, you don't gain your advantage. You really can't get to the green, or it's going to be really tough to get to the green.
We would have flown it in that bunker.
Yeah.
We would have flown in the bunker and you would have never even gone for the green.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It is, and this is an Arccos test, guys. This is a stroke gained Arccos test.
Yep.
5 rounds with 1 driver set to go straight, 5 rounds with 2 drivers designed for draw and fade. How is the strokes gained at the end of that test?
I would really enjoy doing that.
That'd be great.
If it wasn't winter, we would do it as soon as possible.
I know.
Yeah, I think it would be really good. There's a comfort zone to knowing, I think you can either build a swing that you know the shape it's going to hit.
Yeah.
And trust it, but you're never going to be able to build a swing that does both.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to trust a swing to hit a perfect hook and fade every time.
Yeah.
It might make sense to use the clubs to your advantage.
This is something for those out-the-box thinkers, for people who want to challenge it, and it's the off-season. It might be something cool to tinker with.
It really is. Well, I think that's why we're doing it right now. Our season literally just ended. This is the first time we've ever done this. I'm going to guess we'll revisit this at least once or twice. And that's during the off-season. So by the spring, who knows? We might have 2 drivers set up and head to the course.
It would be fun, really fun to do that and look at some of these draw drivers. When we're taking a sim, because it's very versatile from a
Yes.
weight perspective, we can shift that weight around, but we could go more extreme than this. We
Easily.
could use the D-type, you know, whether it's SFT, whether it's Mav Max. All these drivers have a draw version.
So true.
Guys, something to think of. Hopefully it's got some of you thinking. Some of you will just go, nah, I'm good at it. I like my 3-wood. Great. That's, you know, that's cool. This is for people who like to attack the course off the tee, love to have driver in their hand, and that's a lot of people that I work with. A lot of people just tell me they don't like hitting 3-wood off a tee. That happens all the time. That won't be everyone, but it is a large majority of people would rather hit driver off the tee than fairway.
I'm officially in that crowd.
Yeah. I am as well.
Didn't used to be.
Yeah.
I would have used to tell you, no, I'll hit 3-wood for safety. At this point, I have a better chance of hitting it straight with my driver, so I would rather do this.
Good stuff.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, well, some interesting topics. More of these topics we will dive into over the winter, over the off season. We have the time to do it. We have the resources to
Yes,
do
we
it, so
do.
why not?
Absolutely.
Okay, stay tuned for those. We will see you again soon.